The crazy thing is Carolina and Clemson, who play each other in a couple weeks, is going to be in Chapel Hill. That doesn't even count as a quad one game for UNC. There are four teams in particular that have major discrepancies in what they're ranked in the net versus what they have in the AP. UNC 27th in the net, 14th in the AP, which is now a difference of 13. Florida 12th in net, 5th in the AP. Iowa 19th in the net, 28th in the AP. That's a difference of 9. And Clemson 31st in the net, 20th in the AP. And honestly, we just want to get into, is this disrespect for some teams and is this AP bias for others? Let's start with UNC because 13 spots is honestly a massive gap. It's the largest one that we can see. Offensive efficiency for Carolina is 36 in the country this year, which puts them at 6 in the ACC. Defensive efficiency is 44th in the country, which is also 6 in the ACC. Now, that Stanford loss has come back to really bite them because that is now a quad 2 loss, which was a quad 1 a couple weeks ago when it happened. And Cal is currently listed as a first 4 out of the bracketology projection. So that could end up losing its quad 1 status and drop down to a quad 2, depending on what Cal does from this point on. In the 12 major categorical statistics for offense and defense that KenPom and the net ratings look at, UNC only ranks in the top 30 in 4 of those 12s. And if you look at the defensive side, 4 of 6 of those ratings, they're above 100. So it's really the big thing that's killing them in the net is the defensive problems. Offensively, they haven't been terrible. And to their credit, over the last couple weeks, their defense has been trending in the right direction because they have dropped a couple spots in the net over the last couple nights post that Syracuse game. That run that they gave that late allowed Syracuse to go on at the end of it, killed them again in the net efficiency. And outside of them, you look at Clemson, who's 31st in the net, 20th in the AP poll. Their offensive efficiency is 69th. And the key for Clemson that is keeping them even near that top 30 is their defense. 18th in the country in defensive efficiency. Their defensive ranks top 30 in 4 of 6 of those defensive categories, third in 1. So realistically, maybe if it changes a couple, you could even get 5 of the 6 they're top 30 defensively. So you see that from a Clemson perspective, that their defense is top notch and one of the best in the countries and one of the best in the ACCs. The crazy thing is Carolina and Clemson, who play each other in a couple weeks, is going to be in Chapel Hill. That doesn't even count as a quad 1 game for UNC. That puts it in perspective that a team that's ranked top 20 in the country is not even classifying as a quad 1 game if you're hosting them at your own arena. And Carolina getting a lot of love in the AP poll. I don't really know what it stems from, and this isn't trying to sound like hating on Carolina. It's just statistically, they're almost outside the top 30 of the net, and they're listed as 4 spots away from being a top 10 team in the country, according to the AP and the media. So something's definitely off with that. And I think when we look at Clemson, they haven't played the toughest of schedules yet. What they have coming up now is the West Coast trip, which they did beat Stanford last night, which was a close one. They'll play Cal soon. They've got at Duke, they've got Louisville, and they got at Carolina. And like we said before, that game, Clemson at UNC, is not even a quad 1 game as it stands right now for UNC. And then we look at 2 teams who I think are getting majorly disrespected, which is Florida and Iowa. Florida right now is 12th in the net, 17th in AP, so that's a difference of 5. They have wins by 15 or more points against Alabama, Tennessee, and Georgia. And if you look at their losses, Arizona, TCU, Duke, and UConn, 3 of those teams are potentially going to be 1 seeds when we get to March. And all of the games, they lost to Arizona by 6, TCU by 4, Duke by 1 at Cameron, UConn by 4. So I think Florida is kind of getting disrespected in this situation. And then Iowa's a team that the net really likes. They would fall 28th in the AP. They are receiving votes. And if you look at it beyond that 25th measure, which obviously the rankings only go for 1 to 25, as far as getting a number next to your name, they would be 28th if they push that out to 30. So 19th in the net, 28th in the AP, 16-5 record. Their losses are at Michigan State, at Iowa State, Illinois at home, at Purdue, at Minnesota. So they're a very efficient team as Iowa. The losses aren't horrible losses. The at Minnesota is not great. But you look at Michigan State, you look at Iowa, you look at Illinois, it's 3 top 15 teams according to the net and according to the AP rankings as it stands now. And then also throw that Purdue game in there as well. So those 5 losses, again, they're not bad losses. And so it's interesting to see like how this is faring. But Carolina 13 spots from net to AP is honestly huge. I don't know if we've seen that big of a